Am I live? Let's check. Let's check. Hey, what's up, guys? Recently, Fresh and Fit visited Louder Crowder and the cast. Right? They had a very insightful conversation. I would like to share it with you guys. They both gave solutions on the modern dating pool for men, right? How to handle it. And I'd love to get into it. Let's get into it, guys.
And we'll take your chats afterward. Hey, has this made your life better, single people out there? Do you believe that your life is better now due to the way that we've changed the dating pool, the current environment? Well, really quickly, some consequences that are incredibly severe. We talked about relationships since these changes, and again, it goes back to no fault divorce, feminism, and porn. These were all the same, by the way. They were tied together. It was pro porn, pro sex, and no fault divorce. Okay, now the divorce rate in the country, the 50% divorce rate is kind of a myth, though it has gone up. Women initiate 69% of all divorces, just to be clear. And infidelity and physical abuse are not even the top 5 reasons listed. Marriage rates are at their lowest point ever. And then we'll get into, before we get to marriage, the reason that people are just checking out of the dating pool for serious relationships whatsoever. I mean, you guys talk about this a lot. And I think a lot of people think, well, why is this happening? It's not that confusing when you actually look at the environment.
Yeah, so basically, that's the reality of the dating pool, right? When you date to marry, you are at risk of being divorced for no reason. So as a man, it's hard to think about marriage. It's hard to be positive about something that could destroy you for any odd reason, right? So they used to have a reason, right? Women used to have a reason to divorce you, right? But now it's no fault divorce, so they can divorce you for any given thing, right? And they don't have to explain why. It's just no fault. They just do whatever, and they take half of your stuff, half of everything that you work for. So that's where we stand in the modern day dating pool, and men are now getting away from that, right? They're trying to steer away from marriage, and it's because of the laws, and the laws are against men, and it's hard to be positive and try to stay. It's hard to be positive and try to stay traditional when the law doesn't allow it to be fair. All right. You can't have you can't be traditional when the laws aren't traditional. So you have to acquiesce to the times. And women have also changed throughout the years. So this conversation is very vital to the young men who are dating and who are looking for a potential wife. And they must be warned about the consequences of picking the wrong woman. And this conversation is beautiful because you get two perspectives, right? Crowder is a very conservative man. He's a traditionalist. And when you talk to Fresh and Fit, they're modernists to me because although they do have some very strict traditional values and views, they also understand the dating pool of today, right? They understand the consequences of choosing the wrong woman and laying up with the wrong woman. So they both have values, right? They both have solutions, and it's great that we get to hear them.
Bridal companies are actually like going out of business now too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we did an episode on it.
I thought it was a license to print money. Used to be. It used to be. It used to be one of those industries that was unaffected by the economy because people waste money on stupid shit.
Facts.
$10,000 dress?
Yeah.
That's it.
Say yes to it. I'll fit it for one day and then blow up after.
Yes, exactly. Now, what are you about to say? Yeah.
I just want to add as well. The question is, how do you destroy a country that's great?
Yeah.
And it's destroying the family first. And I think I want to add here as well, social media played a huge role in this because, once again, TikTok is spreading propaganda where they push women to be independent, be that woman you see earlier on those TikTok videos, and then men are becoming less like men. So it's kind of like this whole culture of being in social world and it's happening destroys the whole family completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So what Fresh said was very, very true. The values of a woman, where what used to be a woman is now changed. There is no set standard for women anymore. Anybody can be a woman. Damn, if you're a man, you could be a woman. It depends on how you feel, right? There's no set standard. How should a woman act? How should a woman treat a man? How should a man treat a woman? It's just whatever. Anything goes, all right? But America was built off the nuclear family. So if you're straying away from that, you are going to destroy how this country was built. So when you destroy the core value of a country, right? The core idea of a country, you destroy that country. And that's what they're doing. He's literally said it himself that they're trying to confuse the men and the women. All right. And they're doing it on purpose.
Now in the head with a lot of the problems. Like I pretty much went down was like feminism leads birth control, which then leads to sexual consequences, which then leads to divorce, then that destroys the family. And then on top of that, to compound the issue, you add social media, just like Fresh was saying, women have more options than ever before. Right. So when women have a lot of options and they feel that there's a bunch of suitors that can take care of them or they believe so, even though because women make this terrible mistake of thinking.
So to hear the rest, guys, we're gonna view this on YouTube. So we have to respect that they're going to Rumble due to being censored. So you have to respect that. So we're gonna go with what we have. All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and play the field and do what I need to do, which is where you end up with women like that girl before, where she has guys that are going to go ahead and give her these experiences, these dates, these situations that she might not necessarily be able to afford herself in.
Just a sex, they're taking advantage on dating apps like Tinder. Men swipe right.
So right's the good thing?
Yeah. Right means that, hey, I like this person.
Okay.
Men swipe right far more often than women. Women swipe right only 5% of the time. Men 53% of the time.
So that means that most men are going to be lonely because if women only swipe 5% of the time, they only like the 5% of guys that they see. While 95% of men like, well, 95% of men like almost every girl that they see, right? So most men are being overlooked, all right? And most of those 5% of guys are literally probably the same guys that every girl is falling for, all right? They're all falling for the same guy. So that leaves most men lonely, all right? They're not finding any prospects. They're not finding these girls. These girls don't want these guys. And that leads to straying away from the family, right? If there's men that don't have any prospects, what are they going to do? All right.
Tinder is also not a good place to find meaningful relationships and to sort of put a face to it, an altered face to it. Social media influencer, I guess she's a fitness model, Brittany Renner. Oh man! And by the way, fitness model for women just means you're just not fat. Like, this is something that women say, like, you have no idea what it's like to have these body standards. They were doing pull-ups before the show. Like, give an idea how hard it is to be lean and muscular. It's like just don't be Tess Holiday, and guys will find you attractive. Yeah. So Brittany Renner, who's a fitness model, made internet waves talking about her body count on the bus confetti.
Now, to be honest, I can't stand Brittany Renner, bro. She just has no accountability. She doesn't care, and the sad part is, right, I really don't care for her, but the sad part is that a lot of women follow her. A lot of women look up to her. A lot of women listen to what she has to say. And I think she's very prideful about that. But she's leading them astray. And I don't think she truly cares about her leading them astray. To me, she's the attack on femininity. She's the attack on womanhood because women are, to be honest, I don't like hoes regardless, and I think that women should be honest and be held accountable for what they did in their past. But to be honest, women did not used to be tattletales about their body count. All right, it used to be a thing called being ladylike. If you're ladylike, you wouldn't talk about your body count out in the open to where everybody could see. You wouldn't say anything to tarnish how you look on the outside and how people view you. But with Brittany Renner, she don't care. It's just okay to do that. All right. So we're gonna get back into this. Give you a little background about who this lady is and how I feel about her.
Well, that's good.
So you said your account is 35. Okay. How do you feel about that? It's kind of like annoying because at least half of my list
She's
I
a
only have
plus.
one time. But I still have to wear those. You know what I mean? It still happens, you know. But I think that's the only thing that's annoying is that that's my number, and I can't even.
So with women, right? What they could learn from this is this: meaningless sex is meaningless, and you always have to carry that. So live through other people, right? She might claim that she's happy and doing all this and be loud and obnoxious, and that's just the front, okay? She understands that what she did in her past and the way she handled her past, right? Going out and saying foolish things and let everybody know what she did, it kind of hurt her prospects, right? Hurt her in the long run of finding somebody that actually could love her, right? Because men, we're very prideful people. If you hear a woman, right, that you really like talk like this, talk the way that she talk, you're gonna run far away because it's not cute. It's not. It doesn't make me look good. Okay. And if everybody's laughing, I want to know the joke because I don't like looking like a fool. But like I said before, women should learn from women like this because they're not happy. These people go home crying at night of their because of their past, but they want to confuse you and make you make the same decision that they made and convince you that you made the right decision. No, you didn't. So live through women like that and don't follow their footsteps. Let's get back into it.
On a regular basis. It's usually quarterly, like that's kind of been my schedule, unless
Like
I'm in a
taxes?
relationship or talking to someone, pre-commitment phase, which has not been anything recently. Yeah, it sucks. So over half my probably about half my list.
Okay. So a little pointer to women. All right. If you if you out there having one night stands and other men hear about that, it's like you might as well keep having one night stands because other men not gonna settle for you having one night stands with people and now I gotta wait for 3 months and respect you. You don't even respect yourself. So you ain't gonna start with me. And that's sad to say because that's how men view it, right? If you out here having sex with everybody else being a freak, I want you to be a freak elite with me. You ain't gonna stop here. No, you're gonna keep going, right? That's why your past matters. If you gonna be a hoe, you gonna always be a hoe. That's how if I don't care if you change and went to church and praise Jesus, you still a hoe in everybody else's eyes because especially when it comes to men, you a hoe. You gonna always be a hoe. So she put herself in that category. All right. And I know that she's regretting it, but she's so prideful that she has to tell herself in the mirror that it's okay. It's literally okay. I don't care. I don't care what everybody else think, right? But it's okay. And the reason why people are not liking me because they scared. All right. They're little pawns. They can't handle me. And that's detrimental to her. All right. And don't follow her footsteps, like I said before, because you will end up lonely. And the fact is it's okay to be lonely, but the fact is that she don't take no accountability. So therefore she ain't gonna never change it. By the time she realizes that it's the problem is the person in the mirror, it's too late. It's too late. It's a biological clock on women, man. Take it serious and don't let other women F up your chance because they will. All right. Because you competition. It depends on how you look at it.
How bad are you in bed? Now, getting rid of.
That was a funny joke. Like, because if you having sex with a lot of folks, right? And you in the way she carries herself, she keep talking about how sexual she is and da 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 da, like that really truly matters. Why everybody leaving you? Like your sex must not be that much or be that meaningful because everybody leaving you. But even if her sex was that good as she said it is, you got to understand that, like I said before, knowing that a woman used to be promiscuous in her past is a very bad. It's a thing. It's a thing that stains men, and once we put that in our brain, we cannot let that go. No matter how many times we try to fix it, right? It's only gonna last. Even if a dude does take her serious, it's only gonna last for so long because he understands that I don't want that type of stuff on me, right? I don't want that look on me, and I don't want people laughing at me. When people are laughing, I want to laugh with them. I don't want to be the butt of the joke, and that's how men. That's how men are. I want other men to respect me. Okay, I don't want people playing with me. I don't play with people. I don't want them playing with me, and I definitely don't want them to use my woman as a weapon to play with me. All right, and I'm not gonna put myself in that position. So if women understood how vital that is to men, would they change? Would they try to change that? But in this sense, Brittany Renner is a poor example of a woman. She's a poor example of what you should be. Stay away from that mindset because that's all it is. It's not about being promiscuous. It's about a mindset and the way you carry yourself and the way you handle it. All right. I'm not saying that people can't redeem themselves and is irredeemable, but how other people view you cannot. Sometimes you can't change that. You could redeem yourself personally, right? You don't have to do those same things, and you could change. But in other people's eyes and in how other people view you, you may not be able to change that. And that's with anything. It don't have to be with just body count and being a whore or anything like that. It could be just you being a criminal, right? Are you having a horrible past, chin checking people and robbing them and all that? Yeah, a lot of people gonna be like, oh, when they come by you, they're gonna be on guard. They're gonna be ready to hurt you because they don't know what you're about. You could truly change, right? Rightfully, personally, but how people view you does matter, right? So make sure you present yourself in the best way, and you're not gonna be perfect. Nobody's perfect, but when you let stuff like this get out, how can you change people's mind? Like how? You can't, and you're prideful about it too. It seemed like you didn't change. Why would I even deal with you, right? As a friend, if you did something wrong or if you did something that I truly don't agree with, right? We both know that it got you in some trouble or whatever. Why you keep being prideful about it? If you really want what you want and you truly think you deserve to get what you can get, play the game. All right. But it's too late. I think it's too late.
That's a moral idea. The moral consequences. Like, at a certain point, it's you.
So many of the people that I slept with
Yeah.
didn't come back for seconds.
Yeah. They're not living with a smile on their face. You're not that complicated.
And for me, I want to mention too.
All right.
Do women ever tell their body count? Just being-
Oh, right there, right? We never really know.
I don't think so.
Multiply by 7, have another 10.
Facts.
Wait, hold on. What are these women? Roadies for Van Halen?
What was that line in Clerks when he's like,
Facts.
Because we actually spoke with her on our academics podcast. And I predicted this. I told her, yo, you're going to have a very difficult time finding a guy because you're out there on social media, you're banging a bunch of athletes and celebrities. Guys aren't going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
And since you're famous and you make a certain amount of money, you basically ostracize a majority of men from taking you seriously. You're probably going to end up single. And the thing is, she's starting to realize that now.
yeah. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah, she's starting to realize it now, but she's very prideful about her decision. She's convincing herself while everybody's watching her, right? We watched Brittany Renner come from being a hoe to trying to change it up, to trying to be a house mom and all this other stuff and being a hoe again. So it's very hard for people to believe you. And it's not on us to believe you, like I said before, but your image does matter because you want to attract that guy. The way you attract that guy is not being promiscuous, but that's her whole spiel. When you think about Brittany Renner, you think about a whore, her being a whore, her talking about her body count, how many people she slept with. All right, that's her life. That's who she is. Okay, and yes, when it comes to Fresh saying that women do, but do women ever be honest about their body count? No, I'm sure they don't, but I think that women should be held accountable for their past, just like men are. If you out there slapping on women and stuff like that, boy, you can't expect nobody not to slap on you. All right, you can't expect women to truly deal with you and trust you. That don't make sense. So I think that on the other hand, women should just respect that men do not like that shit. And if they do rock with you, it's gonna be for a minimum amount of time. It's gonna be that one hitter quitter, just like she kept saying. Most of those guys she had ex with was one hitter quitters. I don't blame him. I would have done the same.
Absolutely right. And you know, I don't think we need to run the another clip through because she likes taking with guys.
I said 3 in one day though. I think that's an importance.
Wild.
You don't have to run the clip. I'm just saying. I said she's after
Before you feel bad for her, she did the hack trade. Yeah, 3 in one day. And here's the thing, you know, you guys
It's
do
crazy.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You said your show, yes. And Nick DiPaolo's on Mug Club every day at 5 p.m. And the reason we brought him on is, you know, first off, he's the OG. Like if you ask other people, you should say, "Oh yeah, Nick's the guy. He's as funny as they get." He's been talking about this for a very long time. Now, again, he's not. I'm not saying that he's a Christian conservative. He's an agnostic, you know, rough around the edges guy. But he talked about the idea of women's body count and even the sort of secular idea that, hey, you want to test drive a car, right? Some guys would say that. This is from 20-something years ago, at least. Nick DiPaolo discussing this issue.
You can be the biggest whore for the first 30 years of your life, the NBA, West, East, and South. So letting girls go when you're 76. They crave the vagina. And you deceiving men when you do that. It's like rolling back the odometer on a used car.
You're talking about vagina plastic.
Right. And I think that if women understood that, they probably would change, right? A humble woman, but most women are not humble. They are very prideful. They're I think honestly that women have become more prideful. They became more prideful than men, and it's not in a good way. It's not prideful in defending your honor. It's just like shit. Like I did what I did, so what? That type of shit. I'm still gonna go home at night with this money, even though I sold my butthole on OnlyFans for $3. All right, special. It's sad. It's sad. We joke about it, right? But it's sad. It's sad to see a woman stoops that low and get no more respect and still keep going, right? The more you see her, it's like she's being loud and obnoxious. She's going crazy. She's screaming. She needs to be the only one talking in the room because she needs to control her own narrative. You already did. You don't understand that you already wrote your name in that death note. All right, it's over. You done that to yourself, and I don't truly believe that she don't know what type of she did to herself. I truly don't believe that.
That's a real thing, man. Like it is. Girls that are in my lifestyle and literally guilty, pretty much basketball players, football players, and they go to surgery. It's like, oh, I'm a new body now. I'm like, no, you're not. Still the same person. And it's interesting that he said this.
Why? My question is this, man. When it comes to women, why do they play that mental game? Like, why? Oh, I'm a born again woman. I'm just not. Stop playing. Stop playing the game, man. And I think that that's another way of not holding yourself accountable. All right. I'm a born again Christian. All right. You can't judge me. I'm a new body. You can't judge me. No, that ain't how it work, bro. That ain't how it work. And once women truly get it, right, humble themselves and truly understand morale, because they used to, right? Even if a woman back in those days, right? Let's say back in the 70s, back in the 60s, if she was a whore, she not letting everybody know that shit. You're not going to find out unless you dig deep, and and I don't think people will put that much effort into finding people's background. But now it's very important because it's all out there. All right, it's all out there.
Before the explosion of social media, it's even worse now because a regular girl will get DMs from athletes and celebs, guys that are top tier, and they have access to them now because of the internet.
Yeah,
So
facts.
No, the thing is, like people say, oh, you're being anti. Look, being anti women's liberation, meaning having sex with as many people as you want, not anti-woman. Ask how. Go take a sampling. Poll 60-something year old women. Ask them. They say, hey, I wish I slept with more guys one time in my life. That's my biggest regret. No, almost always these people say when they're older, they say, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. They don't tell you don't get. I wish I had more money. They say you don't get more time. I wish I had more time. That's what they invariably say when they say.
And that's the old respectful women. They understood duty. They understood culture, right? And the meaning of having a family and starting a family and starting your family off right. You don't want your kids to think and know that you was a hoe. You don't want your kids to know that. That's not something that you do as a mother. Okay. You protect your image and you protect your children. If you sitting out there acting a fool and being a whore, you shaming your children, you shaming your last name. All right, whoever vouched for you, right, which is your husband. I vouch that this is my woman, and she for me and only, right? I vouch that she gonna hold her vows dear and near. All right, she truly believes in her vows. No, it's not like that anymore. Women are just, to me, they're just people. Right? It's sad to say that, it's just people. They don't even want kids no more. They don't want no duties. They don't want no type of responsibility. They just people, and that's sad. It's like some soulless nothing. All right.
And they mean time with people that matter. And think about this: you're wasting so much time in your life with things that don't matter, people that don't matter. And
Facts.
the problem, right, it's a double-edged sword, is you may never be able to find that relationship that matters because people are checking. They're all terrified. Men are saying, "Well, I don't want to get married because 70%, if they're college degrees, 80% of divorces are filed by women just because, and it's no fault. And I don't want to marry a woman who's trained herself her whole life to learn how to break up with men." And then women are saying, "Hey, I don't want to marry these men children. Sorry, it's hard to combine the two. Who are going through second adolescence in their 30s, and this is look."
And it's like a double-edged sword, right? Women date more than what they used to. All right, they break it off with guys. All right, I'm gonna run to the next one. Right, they body count rack up, but in the midst of their body count racking up, they build certain behaviors that they can't just throw away. You can't just throw it away. It just happens. It's there, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right. And a lot of times they're unaware of those behaviors and those habits that um, they tend to gain through having so many partners and having so many people that dip out and stuff like that. So many toxic relationships. Okay. And with men, right? If they're not getting with women, right? Women are so occupied dating these bad boys and all these guys, all telling the men how trash they are and all this other stuff. Men are being occupied with something else, right? Porn. They've been occupied with video games, right? They're stuck in a stupor. All right. They're finding other things to do other than deal with women. But all in all, right? The duty of a man and woman is to produce and reproduce. All right. And the way this country is going, it's like that's going away. All right. It's like we can't, it's a battle between women and men. And if we can't get along, how do we make more? How do we make more people?
Destroy society from within.
Facts.
Tell people that evil is good. And when I say evil, I mean learning to, I had a pastor one time, these sticky tapers. Every time you rip off the tape, it gets less and less sticky. That's the analogy I used to use in youth group. And it's true. The more partners you have, you get really good at breaking up with people. You get really good at learning to end relationships. That's not great for yourself long term if you want to be in a permanent relationship.
Well, you also get really good at learning how to get somebody in bed. That's not the goal of a relationship, right?
Right. So it's literally, again, it's literally saying that's meaningless relationships. You gain no beneficial skills from dealing with other men. And women will flip that and say, well, don't you want a whore? Don't you want a whore in bed? The sad part about this is no. A man want to teach a woman everything that she needs to know. All right. We want to be the guy to introduce you to the freakism that you got, that freak nastyism. All right. We're going to teach you that. But if you already know how to do it, it's like, who taught you this? Like another man has conquered you. You freak nasty. Who, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else been here? All right. Who been in my home? Men don't like that. All right. And you build, like I said, you build these habits that nobody likes and nobody cares about. All right, you know how to fuck a lot. Okay, now what? What are you after that? Right? It's like you're a soulless person because you add no value to this world. You add no value to any of your relationship that you have.
You want to learn how to get a guy in bed? It's pretty simple, right? The girls don't have to do a lot of training on that.
Just say yes.
Yeah, exactly, guys.
Facts.
That's not what you want for a relationship. Like that's not the skill that it takes to be in a relationship. And really, we've talked about this on other shows. Like we do need to bring some shame back. Like,
Facts.
I'm shaming the guys that are doing this too, and shaming the women. Like I'm doing it for your own good. You
Facts.
Be ashamed of doing these
Facts.
things.
And nowadays, people are trying to take away shame because it makes them feel guilty about their decisions. But shame was the number one thing that kept people from doing immoral things, right? I don't want to shame my family. I don't want to shame people around me, right? My friends, my inner circle. And I don't want to shame myself because it means something to me. Myself means something. My name means something. Why would I do this? Right? If you take away shame, then it's like anything goes, right? There's no structure. There's no consequences to immoral actions. And they're doing that on purpose, right? The less shameful, the more tolerant we are to evil things, the more evil things will happen, and it will become a tyrannical society. So we need shame, because shame is what developed civilization. All right, humans are not as good as you think they are without some type of shame or some type of structure, right? Jesus Christ, whatever, Buddha, whatever. You will, as a person, you will do whatever you think is right. And believing in Jesus Christ or something above you makes you understand that you're not the bearer of what's right and wrong. All right. You're not, because you're imperfect and you're not able to make those decisions, because there is people, right? Like North Korea. If you spoke to Kim Jong Un and he thinks that he's right, he thinks that everything he's doing is right because there is no shame, right? There is nobody telling him you wrong. Then they'll kill him, right? So you have to go with it. And in his mind, he made what's right and wrong. Communism. He made it up in this country what's right and wrong. So there is no right and wrong, but ain't nothing above him. There is no Jesus. There is no God. Nothing. So with that analogy, you know that humans are incapable of creating what's right and wrong, because most of the time you are wrong. Most of the time you are. So we need something to balance that out, right?
You could see it in her face, like when she was saying this, like I still have to wear that. And I'm like, yeah, we are you at 40 telling you now not to make those mistakes, because at 40 you're going to regret it.
Yeah,
and you can't make
might stand out a little hot. I don't think it's just me, but that's it. Well, you made a good flash. And I think that was also in times where good will be evil, evil will be good.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we're telling women to become better for themselves and their family, but they don't care what men actually want. It's what they want. Yes, it sucks.
They take it as offensive. If you tell a woman like, "Hey man, men don't want this," who are you? You're judgy. You're this. You're that. You're evil, right? I'm just trying to protect you from yourself, just like in the past, right? Every religion try to protect women from themselves. I think that a woman being too free is detrimental to society, because men are attracted to women. So men follow, as much as men don't want to say it, men follow women because we want their validation. Most men don't like men. So they do what the market tells them to do. If you like a bad guy, I'm going to become a bad guy. If you like this, I'm going to become that. Right. So if a woman is such a whore and this and that, no morals or whatever, most men are going to acquiesce to what the market says. So if she don't have no morals and she hates men that have morals, I'm going to be immoral, right? I'm not going to hold her to shame because she doesn't like that, and I want to do what she likes because I want to have sex. I want sex. I want access to sex, right? But what men don't understand, right? When Myra get into this, is that even though women say that they want men that don't judge and immoral, is that don't have morals, they want men that's not toxically masculine. That's a lie. All right. When you hear that, that's a lie. But like I said before, most men don't truly know that, right? They go off what the market says, and what they don't understand about women is that their mind change every fucking day, and they might say something that's politically correct and truly don't believe it outside of what men do, what actual men do, because some guys will do this. You won't say what you don't lie to yourself. You wouldn't say what you don't truly believe in. Most of the time, a real man, right? If you say something you truly believe in and you're willing to die about what you truly believe, right? And I would say that society has changed on that aspect as well. So we're in troubling times.
And I saw, behold, a pale whore.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Say that since women are most used now than before, one thing I say that people have is kind of controversial. I say before you even think about taking women seriously nowadays, you need to have sex with at least 50 girls. Whoa, what are you talking about? And the reason why I say that is because when you get into a relationship dealing with a lot of women, with they're racking up 10 bodies, 10 to 20 bodies in a semester in college, because more women attend college nowadays, and there's I call it the deregulated sexual marketplace. Women basically are able to hook up with whoever they want. And if you leave women to their own devices, what do? They typically pick the best guys, and they're smashing a lot of these guys, and it's easy for them. So as a man, you don't want to get into a relationship with a girl that has been ran through and you're not able to see it. I call it like basically getting in the ring with someone who's a black belt and you're a white belt because you're not necessarily experienced enough to be able to how do I say this? Combat and or identify certain characteristics that will disqualify her from a serious long-term relationship. And guys have to learn the skill now. It used to be,
But
back.
they won't learn the skill through sleeping with a bunch of women. You need to learn the skill through screening for values and actually like finding someone. And I get that there's a lot of dishonesty. Right?
Now, when it comes to this, I truly agree with Crowder on this because scratch the women. You need to know as a human, right? As a man, you need to know how to identify a bad person. Fuck a woman, a manipulative woman. You need to learn how to identify. You have to have the social awareness of dealing with bad people and people that have ill intent towards you. Okay, just because you have sex with a million women does not help you understand them more. Being around one woman will teach you because we understand that most women are alike. Most women are alike in the way they think. All right, so having sex with 80 of them would not change the price of tea in China, bro. If you deal with one woman, you could truly understand how most women think. If you truly try to dissect how they think, and most of them are emotional. So if you understand, right, women say emotional intelligence, basically understanding women, all right, they are emotional people and they change their mind every fucking 5 minutes. So I agree with Crowder. If you're trying to screen for marriage and screen for a worthful relationship, yeah, you should screen for values, screen for culture and things that matters when raising a family. And having sex with a woman is meaningless. Okay, it teaches you nothing because she's just an object and you're just trying to get a nut. And eventually, right, when it comes to men as well, I think that men could also gain bad habits as well with doing that. All right, and learning how to disassociate themselves from something that's real, right? Something that should be meaningful. And we're already at a disadvantage when it comes to sex, anyways, because most men could have sex with a person that they hate. So we need to learn how to screen better and keep our dick in our pants. All right. And work for something that truly matters. Because if society crumbles, although men are listening to the market, we're still at fault because everybody looks at us at the end of the day. If men are weak, society's weak because we're the protectors. No matter how much women say and how much they dish and flip or whatever. If society is weak, men are weak because we allowed it to get that way. So I would say that be strong. Stop listening to women because they're emotional and they truly don't want a weak man. I don't give a fuck. You can get the most craziest feminists in the world. They don't want weak men. All right. They just want the men that they don't deserve. And they will do anything to manipulate men to feeling bad for judging them. So don't listen to that.
A lot of deception, but I don't know if the guy's necessarily going to learn like I slept with 50 women, therefore I know that you bang 14.
It's not a hard 50. It's not a hard 50. It could be like 35, 40, whatever it may be. But what I am saying is that guys need to get out there and deal with a lot of girls. And I know this kind of clashes with traditional conservative values. A lot of times where they're like, hey, you should be trying to be monogamous, find a woman. Even though I think that is a great template maybe 50 years ago, in today's day and age with the way how women are and how promiscuous they are and how a lot of women sell men a dream where they sell purity, men deal success, women deal purity. I think you need to be able to identify women that are promiscuous and the way to.
What I truly believe is that the balance is off. Okay. When it comes to women and men, the balance is off. It seems like women are changing because of weak men, and weak men are changing because of the market of women. And I think that we are both to blame, and men are solely to blame because we used to be masculine. We didn't hear we would hear women, right? But we didn't bend the knee to what they want us to do just because they're emotional. No, we could identify, hey, that's emotion. Okay. We didn't need to have sex with a million of them to understand that. We just understand that women have a place, men have a place, right? I think that it all got fucked up when women try to go in men's spaces and men allowed it. And then what we did was, okay, maybe we do talk too fucked up in the barbershop. Maybe we should lower it, right? Maybe we shouldn't talk like this. But at the end of the day, that's what kept us masculine. Maybe we shouldn't fight. Maybe I am a toxically masculine man. But if you do that, you're weakening society because men used to have men's circles and kept us from being pussies. All right. If you a pussy nigga, we gonna check you. All right. But since women are now allowed in our spaces, it's like, okay, I can't act like a man because me being too manly will offend her. All right. But at the end of the day, what she don't understand is that she wants that man that offends her to protect her. So it only matters when it's useful to the woman. So what I say is that men need to get women out of men's spaces, straight up, right? When it comes to men dressing up as women and going inside the bathroom, men get very offended. Like men need to stay out the women's restroom. Women need to stay out of men's spaces as well, because it's only hurting men, and we keep acquiescing to how they feel, and it doesn't help. It's never gonna help. It's not gonna help the future generation. It's not helping us now. It has not worked. And guess what? When society fails, those same feminist women are going to look back at the men and say, what did you guys do? What do you mean we listened to you? No. What did you guys do? Why did you listen to us? You know we are emotional. Why did you do that? So men need to start being men and stop listening to women. It's not working.
That is why sleeping with them. I'll say this: the reason why it's sleeping with them versus just courting them and dating them, because that's a woman's main commodity. Like once you sleep with her, you pretty much conquer that woman. That sounds crazy, but you're able to identify the games.
Yeah. Well, no,
Bro, to be honest, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. You don't have to just conquer a woman by just sleeping with her. You can conquer a woman emotionally because you got to have game. All right. Most ugly guys, right? With no money, whatever. Most of them guys that be sleeping with all these women, they just got game. They just got game. They did know how to tap into a woman's emotions. And that's in society, that's how you get women to do what you want them to do when it comes to shopping and trying to advertise for a certain product that you know women should like and stuff like that. You advertise it by tapping into their emotions. So you ain't got to necessarily smash them to conquer them. That's one aspect of it. But truly, right, you got to have game before you even dib and dab into that. And before you get to that next step, right? There's steps to this shit. So I don't agree with Myron, right? But I do understand where he's coming from because women are whores nowadays. So it's very hard to find a virgin. That's not even in our culture anymore. So I get what he's saying, but we're also losing culture by playing into what is going on, right? We make the market. Women follow, right? Men and most women do say this on Myron's podcast, and I think that they're telling the truth. It is annoying to hear, but it's very true. Men lead, women follow. So even if men are following women, women are still following the men, follow them, if that makes sense to you. So we are accountable for society's actions because we're the last, we're the defense. Okay, we're the last line of defense. We are the first and last line of defense. Other than that, it's over. It's over. So we got to hold ourselves accountable too, and that's what Crowder is saying. You can't play into the market value. If you can't play into the marketplace just because it's not fair. Yeah, it's not it's not fair. But niggas used to die in a ditch just to make a country, just to make make this country better. People were willing to die in a ditch. Is it fair? No. But did you do it? Yes, because duty mattered more than anything. And I think that's where Crowder is getting to. And I think that's conservative values that we're keeping in this country, because without those, there will be no country. Without those, there will be no America, because the way America was born was from an idea. The way you made that idea come true is by sacrifice. All right. If nobody is willing to sacrifice, there is no country. And you know damn well women ain't gonna sacrifice nothing. Okay, they'll sacrifice you before they sacrifice themselves. So we gotta be that, and we gotta stand on it, and don't feel bad about it, and let those women who are whores weed themselves out, because they're always women. There always have been women that are whores throughout society. So That didn't change. Now it's out in the open because they got a phone. But other than that, they always been around. But they didn't. They never mattered. They never mattered more than that woman who was a woman who stayed a woman. Okay, who didn't throw away her values just to make a quick buck. No, they always been around. So we just paid attention to them more and let them fuck up our families and let them fuck up society because we so sex hungry. We got to control ourselves as well, man. And it starts at home. It starts at home.
It can also become, this is where we would disagree, but I think it becomes a vicious cycle because then not one woman have a high body count. You have a body count. It makes it, that's kind of what feminism is predicated on. Men are doing this, so we should, the truth is, it's not really, it's not good for anyone. But I understand what you're trying to say. This is the reality of the world we live in.
Facts.
Hopefully there's a
Hopefully there is.
split.
You were law enforcement, right?
Facts.
You were law enforcement. Do you ever get trained on how to spot a fake ID? May not have been part of what you were doing, right? But
No, yeah, like fraudulent documents, yeah.
yeah. So anybody that's trained on how to spot a fake ID studies the original. You don't study the fakes because that can change. You study the original so that you can understand and see when something is off. So I would disagree with you wholeheartedly on this, saying, look, if you want to find a pure woman, study what that is. Find what that is so that you know what to look for, not necessarily what not to look for. Because I think you're going to be fooled. Like you said, women now will sell purity. I never really put it into those words, but that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Like I haven't been somebody who's going out and sleeping around. You need to be able to identify the lie, not because you've been down in the mud with them, but because you have stayed out of it.
Ooh, bros. He displayed that so elegantly. That's all I could say. Like he really displayed that so elegantly. You can't expect society to change by doing what is destroying society, right? And saying, "Hey, I'm just doing it because everybody else doing it." Yeah, but Hitler did too, right? People that were Nazis, they did for Hitler too. And it was wrong, right? Slavery. Everybody was okay with it until they wasn't. Somebody said, "Hey, look, bro, that's wrong. I get that, it, we basically getting something out of it, but humans are more important. Duty is more important, and culture is more important than keeping people slaves. All right, we want to be better humans. So how do we stop this? How do we start doing this day by day? All right, you can't be a better human by doing what is destroying your society. If you are, then you are participating in the fuckery. All right, so you can't really say anything. I do understand that, but I'm not saying that I'm all the way conservative, and I think that it should be that way. Yeah, I think that it should be that way, and it's going to be that way. No, I do understand that times has changed, right? But I do believe that time will shift back to where it needs to be because it's not working. If things don't work, why the fuck would you keep doing it? And why would you participate in the things that don't work? Because you are at fault as well. When everybody step back and see, okay, what the fudge were we doing, and who participated in the dysfunction of America? We gonna point at you too. All right. And you can't make no excuses, like, right? Especially when it comes to red pill, there's no excuses, no excuses. You can't make no excuses and say, well, that was the market back then, right? Slavery was a thing back then. Nazism was a thing back then. So that's why I dived in it. Okay, if that's the case and you still around, you got to get held accountable too. You still getting locked up. I understand where you coming from, but you still need to be locked up. All right, you ain't no free passes here. All right, so with that, I want to say, let's see, how the hell did I say this? We do it live, guys. We do it live. Having technical difficulties. Jeez, man. So sorry, guys. So with that, man, I want to say thank you for watching. If you are watching afterwards, like, comment, subscribe, man, and hopefully you gain some from this conversation. Because I did. This is very, very important. This needs to be heard by young people because, man, our country is on fire right now, and we need to hold it together by sticking to what worked. And I'm sad to say, a lot of people want to veer away from religion and stuff like that, but that's what worked. That's what built this country. Family, right? That's what built this country. Core value, that's what built this country. Duty, that's what built this country. So we do need to judge. And I think we should keep on judging. I think we should get more into it like we used to. Okay. A lot of things that kept people from being immoral was being judged. So we need to hold people accountable. Don't stop just because people think that it's the old way of thinking. No, that's what worked. So we need to go back to that. So yeah, guys. So watch this on your own, man. Go to louder@crowder.com, go to rumble.com. You can see the whole thing, man. And I appreciate you guys' time, man. South Central, we out.